I've been using the Beats Solo 4s now for about a week, and I have to say, they may be my favorite Beats headphones ever. Let's start by talking about the style. The Solo 4s live up to the Beats brand standards. Stylistically, they're light years ahead of everybody else, and the attention to detail is truly amazing. For example, take a look here at this little bee on the side. They gave this small logo a brushed metal look that glimmers in the light. Subtle, yet sophisticated, and overall these headphones scream quality. The metal clasps here on the headband are also an improvement over the previous generation. They've maintained the quality of the metal here, but they've somehow softened the edges so I don't feel like I'm gonna cut myself on them. Bravo to the Beats design team. Seriously. The plush ear cups feel amazing too, and we're gonna do something we've never done in a review before, which is to let you feel them with your ears. And this pair of $8,000 microphones. Even the plastic here in the headband feels way higher quality than the competition. In terms of durability, these headphones are going to hold up. They really are the perfect combination of lightness and durability. And they do come with a case, which does the job. And in that case, you'll find a nice long USB-C to USB-C cable and a 3.5mm audio cable. Personally, I would just fold up the headphones, throw them in my backpack, and just go about my day, because they're not gonna break. In terms of comfortability, as a rule, the on-ear headphone category has always trailed the over-ears and earbud category for me, but these are an exception. They are very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. They're snug on your ears, but they don't pinch my head like the Beats Studio Pros do. And they don't get hot, because there's plenty of breathing room around my ears. A word about noise cancellation. These don't have active noise cancellation, but they really don't need to, because the passive noise cancellation is surprisingly great. Passive noise cancellation is just a fancy way to say that something is physically blocking sound from going into your ears. And the other benefit to passive noise cancellation is that unlike its fancy active counterpart, it doesn't drain your battery faster. Speaking of battery, 50 hours on a charge. That is some great stuff. Let's get to the part of the review I'm most passionate about, the sound. I am not a fan of spatial audio. To me, it makes good mixes sound worse and bad mixes sound a little bit better, but I don't listen to bad mixes. So the first thing that I do, and you should do this too, is to turn off spatial audio. Spatial audio has this artificial high-end boost, but you don't need that because there's plenty of high-end in these headphones when it's turned off. If you've been using spatial audio for a while now and you turn it off, you're going to think, oh, my music sounds dull. And that's because, musician or not, you have a magical brain when it comes to music that adjusts to make anything sound good. The best audio engineers in the world will talk about how much your ears will lie to you. But trust me, turn off spatial audio, live with it for about an hour or so, and then turn it back on for sake of comparison. I guarantee you will hear what I'm talking about. Come and leave a comment when your mind is blown. Just because it sounds fancy doesn't mean it's better. Back to the sound of these, they sound great. There's a clear high end, and the bass is well defined but not overwhelming like low end headphones that try to cover their poor high end response with tons of bass. They also do a remarkable job creating 3D space in good mixes, which again sound more spatial when spatial audio is turned off. These headphones just sound great. Now let's talk about lossless audio. Finally, a pair of Apple-made headphones with lossless audio. I'm not going to complain about how Apple's holding back wireless lossless audio until they can stop fighting internally about what the next AirPods Max should look like, because why would they unlock it on the second-gen AirPods Pro, which can do lossless audio wirelessly, as proven by the fact that they can do it with the Apple Vision Pro, but Apple doesn't want to catch flack for having the cheaper model AirPods Pro sound better than the more expensive AirPods Max. I'm not going to complain about that. But please, turn off Atmos music on these headphones. If you don't believe me, listen to I Wanna Dance With Somebody by Whitney Houston in Atmos, then go to Settings and Music, turn off Atmos, and enjoy the mix the way it was intended, not the way some other guy got paid way too much money to come along and make the whole thing sound worse. Atmos is still new. Atmos mixes do not necessarily sound better than stereo mixes. I don't care how many virtual speakers you can have in these headphones. There are only 2 speakers on these headphones. There are not magical extra speakers that suddenly appear when you listen in Dolby Atmos. The only thing that's going to hold these headphones back is the asinine Dolby Atmos and spatial audio at any cost philosophy. Atmos is a great name, and it's wonderful for surround systems where you actually do have more than 2 speakers. So here's the issue, and if I'm a Beats audio engineer, I'm not too happy. Apple corporate types come along and say you have to build in personalized spatial audio and Atmos and all this other fancy stuff because one of our priorities is to push all that, and then they make it the default. But then the engineers at Beats go ahead and design something that sounds amazing on normal stereo mixes. I'm not a headphone engineer, but it's possible that the same tools and techniques that have always worked for designing stereo headphones are just not working for designing Atmos headphones. Or what seems more likely to me, and this breaks my heart a little bit because I am a musician and a mixing engineer, and I would love to do Atmos mixing if anybody would hire me to do it. But according to Billboard magazine, Apple is paying up to 10% higher royalties for music available in this spatial audio format. Surely you must have to have some professional Atmos setup to create spatial audio tracks, right? Wrong. Logic can do it, Pro Tools can do it. But if I'm a record label with a great sounding stereo mix, I'm going to take the path of least resistance to get spatial audio versions of my tracks up on Apple Music to make 10% more money. There is zero quality control here. Record labels are not going to leave money on the table. It doesn't matter if the mix is good. It only matters to them that it's spatial. Wasn't I talking about Beats headphones? Oh yeah, the Beats Solo 4s have lossless audio through USB, which does sound amazing. And it's further proof that the chipset inside of them can support lossless audio. Come on, Apple. I put the Beats Solo 4s through the same rigorous testing we do for all of our headphones. 8 tracks, each with a little something different to listen for. Overall, I think the Beats Solo 4s do an amazing job at creating a lot of 3D space, or as some people would say, a huge soundstage. There's really clear high end. There's a great punchy low end. If I'm going to complain about anything, it's that some of the low mids may be a little bit lower than I would prefer. But that feels like a design choice on their end. These are the most balanced Beats headphones I've ever heard. Now let's test the call quality. I like to put the microphone to the test in a real world situation, not just sit in the studio and record it on its own.
This is what the Beats Solo Pros sound like outside on a phone call with a little bit of wind.
If it holds up on a phone call on a windy day, then it can do pretty much anything. So how do these compare to the $349 Beats Studio Pro? They're better. They sound better. They feel better. The Beats Studio Pros pinch below my ears in a really uncomfortable way. These are light and balanced. Sorry Beats, but I'd choose the $199 pair of headphones, these, over the $349 Studio Pros all day, every day. And they sound way better than the Beats Solo Pros and Solo 3s. I also want to give Beats a shout out for partnering with world-class athletes like the American sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson, good luck to you in Paris, tennis star Naomi Osaka, and Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese, all of whom are 1,000 times more talented at anything sports related than I ever was or will be. But it's nice to see Beats partnering with these strong and talented women who apparently don't sweat though, because the Beats Solo 4s aren't water resistant. But to be fair, their design where they sit on your ears, not up against your skull and sweaty hair like the Beats Studio Pros, is probably going to help keep the sensitive electronics inside of them nice and dry. Bravo to Beats for the Solo 4s. If you're looking for a great sounding and great looking pair of headphones at a really great price, these are a great choice and they're gonna hold up for years. I highly recommend them. Welcome to my ASMR channel. This is creepy as There's a green plant in this room.